Table Talks Education. Let us proceed with advanced biology. Today, we are going to look at another form of aneuploidy called Turner syndrome. Turner syndrome occurs within the females only. It occurs within female individuals. And now here, what happens is that a gamete is lacking an X chromosome in the sex genotype of the female. And also what happens is that the female has only one chromosome in her sex genotype. It is an example which involves loss of a chromosome, or whereby there is a missing chromosome in the genotype of the individual. So, first of all, it occurs in females only. So, Turner syndrome doesn't occur in males. So, two, it is a condition. It is a condition. It is a condition or form of aneuploidy. Form of aneuploidy whereby a gamete has a missing chromosome. Gamete has a missing chromosome. It has a missing X chromosome. Missing X chromosome. So we can't forget calling it an X chromosome, because this is what happens. In the sex genotype, there is a missing X chromosome, leading to genotype. Leading to genotype X0. Leading to genotype X0. So, dear scholars, instead of a female having a genotype of XX, of course, sex genotype, then the person has one missing X chromosome and the genotype becomes X0. Now, such a condition is called Turner syndrome. So now, what are the symptoms of Turner syndrome? Symptoms of Turner's syndrome. Symptoms of Turner syndrome. So, how can you recognize this individual? One of them is that this is a fertile and infertile individual. So, one is sterility. So, the person is infertile. In other words, this person here has no ovaries. The individual may not have the ovaries. The individual may not have the ovaries. So now, if that is so, it means that this individual doesn't produce the ova or the eggs, or may have very small ovaries. Okay? So we say, or may have very small ovaries, of course, which are incapable of producing the ova or the eggs. Then two, this person here has a short stature. or dwarfism. Dwarfism. Now, the other symptom is that the person has a small uterus. The female has a small uterus. So it means that uterus cannot accommodate a baby or cannot accommodate a fetus. Then, the fourth one is that, the fourth symptom is this female here has her hairline relatively lower than the normal, the normal position behind her neck. So the person, we say hairline is relatively lower than the normal position behind the neck. Behind the neck. So that is also another symptom of Turner syndrome. The individuals have their hairline relatively lower than the normal position behind the neck. Okay? So we can see that these are the symptoms of Turner syndrome. But also there is another one, that there is poor development, that is 5, poor development of secondary sexual characteristics. Poor development of secondary poor development of secondary sexual characteristics. Secondary sexual characteristics. So that is another symptom. Poor development of secondary sexual characteristics. Of course, such as soft hair, enlargement of the genitals, then all those signs do not appear or they poorly develop. And so if that is so, then we have the sixth symptom, which is undeveloped genitals, okay, or poorly or immature genitals. So the genitalia or the genitals of the female, of course, these are the sex organs. They don't mature. So the person of the female looks like a young, or actually you may think the person is a young person because the genitals are immature. So now it means the person is not really sexually normal. So that one or such a female cannot even conceive, because we have seen the person is sterile in most of the cases and has a small uterus, then does not produce the ova. So now, what is the remedy? How can we try to minimize on these symptoms here of the female who has Turner syndrome? So I can record that NB, individuals or females with Turner syndrome, syndrome. So individuals or the females with Turner syndrome can be given 6 hormones. Can be given 6 hormones. Can be given 6 hormones so that they can grow. They can grow breasts. They can grow breasts and have normal menstrual cycles. And have normal menstrual cycles. So now it follows that the other symptom is actually small or no breasts, okay? Which will be 7. Then we record do not. Those individuals do not grow breasts. They do not grow breasts. Then 8, do not experience menstrual cycle, or do not have menstrual cycle. So you can see that the symptoms are quite many. The individuals don't experience menstrual cycles, then also they have immature genitals, and also they do not grow the breasts, because we said that the secondary sexual characteristics do not develop very well, no growth of breasts. And so how can we try to minimize or counteract these symptoms? One remedy is giving these individuals or the females 6 hormones, and so the 6 hormones can enhance the growth of the breasts, and secondly, they can enable these females to have normal menstrual cycles, though they may remain sterile, but they may have normal menstrual cycles. So I can add on that. However, such females may remain infertile. So they can be fertile but can grow breasts and have normal menstrual cycles. So, dear scholars, that is what we call Turner syndrome. Remember that these are some of the conditions which present some challenges to the learners. Learners do not easily understand them. Let us meet next time in the next video.